What's up, guys? I know it's been a long time since our last episode, so let's check out all of the stuff that's happened in the past couple months. Kicking it off, you see I get 3 Mask of the Automatons. Obviously, you can only ever have one, but I thought it was funny. Wanted to share with you guys. Kind of unlucky. Really looking forward toward when I'll actually get like a Dark Beast mask. That'll be pretty nice. Oh, I did it! Oh my goodness! Ah! Oh, he's gone and done it, boys. Ooh. 22,103 mil mining XP I got, Pat. And as you see, I got the Iraqi pet. I was actually pretty excited about this. At that point, that was my 3rd skilling pet after the fishing and dungeoneering pets in that order. So it was actually really cool, making pretty good progress toward that that Jack of Trades title, which you need 5 skilling pets for that one. And you see here, I'm looking at my XP, and it looks like a very weird and arbitrary number, and it kind of is if you don't know the history behind it. The reason being, if you add this XP to the XP from my last account, I had just broken 2 billion cumulative XP, which is actually pretty exciting. I was really hyped up about that. Obviously, 2 bill in 2017 really isn't anything super crazy, but it was still a pretty big accomplishment for me, and I was actually quite happy about it. You see me opening up Rune Track to actually demonstrate how much XP my last account had, because the data from it is still there. So if you wanted to look at that, that's always an option if you're super curious, I guess. I don't know. But so that was actually pretty sweet. Moving forward, doing a corp task, I got the corporeal bone. And at first I'm like, wait, is this like something from, you know, like the bone guy up toward Canifis, like near the lumberyard? And it took me about half a second to realize, oh wait, no, there's a massive fucking beam here, and I got a broadcast. I just got the pet, and that was really exciting for me, because at this point I think I had only had the which pets did I have? I had Krill and I had Ava from Twin Furies. So getting the corporeal puppy was actually pretty sweet. It's actually a pet that looks very nice, and a lot of people like it, so I was quite happy, especially at only 225 kill count. It felt pretty good. Now, I've been doing a lot of raids with my clan, and I've been consistently shit-talked for having bad gear. So I decided it was about time that I balls up and start perking some of my stuff, even if I'm just perking my Nox weapons. Leave it at that. So that's what I'm doing here. I buy my Anima Core of Zaros in order to get that Aftershock 3 for my bow, because I use ranged at raids, so it only made sense that that's the first thing I upgrade and the first thing I work on. Definitely a big investment, but looking back, it's definitely maybe not paid itself off, but it's, in the grand scheme of things, it's really not too bad, and it is very worth it. I'm very happy that I've kind of upgraded and made that step in the right direction to be contributing, I guess you'd say, actively toward the raid. I also blew some Reaper points on Death's Choice. That's what will unlock for you the ability to choose your Reaper assignment. I think it's supposed to be something like a 10, maybe 20% chance, but sometimes it feels a lot more frequent than that. I've actually felt quite lucky with it, and I've been blowing my choices, I guess, on Vindicta, just because I didn't have any of the Vindicta pets. It's quite profitable if you get a really good drop, and it seemed like something that would be worth it. I know it's not nearly as many Reaper points as something like Rax's, but the difference is I can actually stand doing Vindicta, and I don't want to kill myself. So that's kind of where my priorities lay there. After that, though, I hit Abyssal Demons, like you're supposed to level up your Zaros armor. It's actually quite good XP per hour as well. That's why it's so difficult to find a world. It's one of the best training methods in the game for melee. And you see I've got Alk runes and stuff in my inventory. I was alking the rune drops and making a little bit of money on the side, which, again, profit really isn't too bad either. It's just very click intensive and kind of a pain in the ass if you're going for it in that way. But anyway, I did get my armor up. I know you only need to get to level 9 in order to get the components, but I decided just to balls up and go to 10 anyway, get the full XP, so it didn't feel like as much of a waste. And move forward, I get the Aftershock 3 perk, and I perk up my Nox bow. I also had gotten perks from, or components, Armadillo components, from my War Priest that I had in the bank. I never really used my Armadillo War Priest. I still have the cape because you only need to disassemble 5 things for 5 components, obviously. So Still have that one piece kind of chilling, but very happy I finally took this step, upgraded my Nox bow, and it's now essentially, unless you're going to count tier 92 super overpriced Saren God bow, I have pretty much the best ranged DPS weapon I could have. And I'm very happy, very content that I've kind of taken this step. I even, if you look at my GE history here, sold out on my Armadillo and bought Anima Core of Zamorak, which I know, nothing super special. I didn't augment it. I bought Anima Core because it doesn't degrade. Kind of like a minor step up, and it's going to be quite a while, I think, before I sell this and upgrade further. Even upgrading my melee gear as well, because I'm still using fucking bandos, just because it's good enough to get by in everything I do. It's not like I'm doing high-level melee stuff. I'm doing God Wars Dungeon 2. You really don't need anything special for that. But yeah, this was another gear upgrade of mine. It feels pretty good, but as I'm saying, it's going to be quite a while until I feel like I'm in a spot where I want to balls up, sell this, and upgrade like full next sets and perk them and everything. Moving forward, though, we get another scaling pet drop. I got Brains. This is on bonus XP weekend, no less, which I really just sold floors the entire weekend, which was awesome, made a lot of money. But it was really funny. I figured, you know what, fuck it, do a farm run. And my farm runs essentially consist of Crystal Blossom and Calquatries. That's really it. The only other farming I do is one herb and one Wishing Well bush per day that I do just during my Jack of Trades. So all of the farming XP you see right here has been accumulated from 99 up basically through this sort of garbage, which is really funny to see how far it's come. And it's really exciting to think about how far I can get just doing this before I need to balls up and start doing better trees, more frequent runs, and making that push for 120. But very happy to get another pet, this being my fourth pet. Hopefully we'll get that fifth soon. You see here, though, disassembling another set of Zaros armor. Well, Panda, why are you doing that? You already got your Aftershock 3. Well, I really only use my Nox bow for raids. There's not really a whole lot else that I range whenever I'm doing any other PVM. Even if I was to do Slayer, I mean, for the most part, I'm using my Scythe, and Scythe is, in my opinion, probably the best weapon in the game. So I figured it only really made sense to upgrade that for my personal use as well. So get another Aftershock 3 perk and throw another Precise 5 on it. And I'm, again, very happy that I've kind of taken this step to stop being so fucking bad. Again, still using bandos, so my armor and my power armor is shit, but at least my weapon is in the best spot it can be. And in good time, I'm sure we're going to make that step for the armor as well. Let's go, boys. Fuck yeah. Yeah, I just did. Fuck yeah. Oh yeah. So yes, there were a couple times I did next with a friend, and coincidentally, one of the few times I actually got the drop, we got Pernix Chaps, which is pretty cool. Obviously, it's not like a Torva plate, it's not the best drop possible, but for my first real next drop of a pretty small amount of kill count, it felt pretty good to actually get what I would consider to be a pretty good drop, so that was pretty hype. I really haven't done a lot of necks, even past this clip you're seeing here. Nothing too special, but very happy to roll on some good RNG. See, I'm also getting a sack of effigies. My RNG in this episode has been pretty crazy. Sack of effigies I did wind up selling for like 18 or 19 mil, but for an elite that's really not bad. And you see here getting another die. Very happy. You guys remember I got my first Barrows die on this account on hard 37, and then in a recent episode I got another one on elite 306. So between a 2 clue difference, elite 344 getting that sack of effigies and elite 346 getting a Barrows die, I actually wound up getting a Maz capability codex later this day, so my RNG was just off the fucking walls. It was a really, really fun and cool boost. I was very happy to run across. Doing some thieving here, I was actually really AFK, just kind of on my phone scrolling through Facebook and whatnot. But I look up and I notice there's this weird thing in my inventory, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck is that? Is that, oh shit, that is what I think it is. And it was 2 minutes between when I got it and when I realized it, which is really, really funny. But this is my fifth skilling pet. Skilling pet I'm very happy to have because I really enjoy thieving as a skill, and I fully intend on taking thieving to 200 mil on this account as well. If you guys didn't know, I had 200 mil on my last account, so getting a total of 400 mil thieving XP, essentially all from perf thieving, is going to be pretty sweet, and I definitely look forward to it. And I'm very happy that I got my my boy Ralph to carry along with me as I do that. Getting that Jack of Trades title is also very cool. I've been using that a lot, and getting Ralph before my buddies, who's Iron Man, has done over 300 hours of thieving post 200 mil, also feels pretty good. So you can suck on that one, White. Here's a short clip showing how much I sold the Barrow's die for. When I got it, it was around 256, but I kind of held out and put it in for a little higher. And when I think a JMod had tweeted about tier 92s being dieable sometime in the near future, they kind of shot up a little bit. Nothing too special. I think Shadow die shot up over 100 mil, but you know, like a 15, 20 mil res on Barrow's die. I'm glad I was a little conservative and thinking ahead, not being too quick to just instant sell my drop. Feels good. And as I had mentioned earlier, I've been doing a lot of Vindicta for Reaper tasks, and I finally got that Glimmering Scale drop, that Rorvek pet, which a lot of people consider to be one of the best boss pets. I was actually very, very happy to get that one. I know it's a pretty popular one. I really like the way it looks. I don't use a whole lot. I don't use it to override my familiars a whole lot, but I do really like it. I'm very glad I got it. So now I have half of the Twin Furies pets and half of the Vindicta and Gorvek pets. So I'm still doing a lot of Vindicta when I can choose my Reaper, just because it would be nice to get both. And again, it's arguably one of the more profitable God Wars Dungeon 2 bosses, so I know it's worth it in that regard as well. So very happy to get yet another pet this episode, my second boss pet this episode. I also took some time to upgrade my keepsakes a little bit. These were a couple quote-unquote keepsake type items that I had thought about keepsaking when I had originally keepsaked my third age, because there aren't a whole lot that goes great with third age in terms of boots and gloves, but these seemed to be by far the best of bad options. The white Goliath gloves I feel like look pretty good with third age, and the particles go quite nice with other 120 capes, and just in general it's kind of cool to have glove particles. And the steadfast boots I'm a little bit partial toward, because that's kind of what I used to wear a lot way back in the day on my last account. Again, like doing gambling stuff back in like 2012, 2013, that was kind of one of my go-tos, that and Ragefire boots, depending on, you know, what time period and what other stuff I was wearing. So keepsaking these felt really good. Using up those last two keys, I obviously need to buy more if I need more keepsakes in the future, but very happy to kind of upgrade from those hide boots and replica gloves towards some actual keepsakes. Now in this next clip, sadly I didn't start recording the very beginning of it like I had tried to. I guess weird misclick, my computer was fucked up. But around this point, it was announced that the, I think it's an alchemical ring or whatever it is, the new tier 4 luck ring that's going to require an onyx. It's also going to require many invention components. Of that being 50 fortunate components. 50 fortunate components you can only really get from disassembling items from clue scrolls. So when this was announced, there was a lot of hype. You see here, Saradomin Chaps at 100k, Magic Comp Bows at over 100k, U-Comp Bows, which are normally absolute trash, being over 14k. And I kind of regret selling when I did. I feel like if I had waited longer, I could have gotten more out of this loot tab. But this is essentially all of the clue-specific loot from 854 hards and 377 elites. Doesn't really include my my Barrows dies, that sack of effigies, stuff like that I had obviously already sold. But the more quote-unquote worthless type stuff was, it was a tab I was actually very, very proud of. And it was one of my much more cherished things in this game that I had kind of built up. And so selling it did feel pretty bad. I kind of regret it almost. I mean, I made a decent amount of cash from it, but all things considered, I mean, clearly if I was ever going to sell, there probably wouldn't have been a much better time than right after that announcement, or maybe right after the update actually comes out. So in terms of the big picture, if I was ever to sell it, this is one of the better times, and I got more out of it than I would have if I had been selling all along or selling far down in the future. But again, this is something that I was actually very, very sentimental toward. And, I made a Reddit post about it. I'll link in the description if you're curious, because I have a screenshot of my tab before and of my tab afterward. And yeah, not really a whole lot else to say about it. Probably speed up this clip so you can see what's going on at somewhat of a decent speed. But past this, I have been, saving my drops again, building that tab back up. There were many things I didn't sell because they either didn't give fortunate components or just like weren't really selling. There were a couple heraldic items that people had seemed to have been forgetting about or ignoring, not paying attention to when the hype was going on, so they weren't really pumped up much and didn't really instant sell. So I said, fuck it, just throw them back in the tab. Teleport scrolls I didn't sell because they don't give fortunate components. Stuff like my purple sweets. And if you look in the tab, my teleport scrolls are a little bit skewed, I think the right word would be, in terms of amount, because I use the lumberyard teleports when completing clues. But the other numbers are very accurate as far as all of them that I've gotten, so you can kind of figure out, I guess, drop rate type stuff based off of that. But yeah, moving forward, I fully intend to build this tab back up, and I'm glad that I made sure to only sell, all but one of things. Reason being that it's nice to know when you've gotten a new unique that you don't have before, even though it essentially eliminates that one bank space for me indefinitely to forever. It's really cool to look at full sets and know that through my work with clues, I have gotten all of that on my own, as opposed to having bought different components or whatever else. So again, I'm still doing many clues. I'm going to be doing all of my clues up to 200 mil thieving, and hopefully I'll get really lucky, get like a blood dye, third age dye, something awesome. But this loot too, it's sentimental for me, and it's stuff that I'm obviously not as happy to get versus one of those dyes or a third age item or something, but it's stuff that it has a special place in my heart, and it does feel bad to kind of see it go. Moving forward off of that, though, doing some mining. I've been working very gradually toward 120 mining. Obviously, I had already gotten Rocky earlier in this episode, so that's kind of been one of my go-to AFKs. Coincidentally enough, AFKing right now as I record audio for this episode. But it's been good invention XP, and I've been siphoning all along the way, and obviously using honed and furnace perks to try and maximize my XP per hour, using superheat form so I don't need to smelt all the ore afterward. But this was actually a really cool moment in that I was finally able to break 1 billion total XP, and something, again, that I'm quite proud of, and having started this account essentially from 111k XP on August 8th, 2015, and coming now in March of 2017, breaking 1 bill. Again, like, obviously there are people who are much faster, more efficient, have the ability to play more, surprisingly enough. But this is something I'm very happy about, and it's going to be, again, quite a while until I break PandaForce XP at 1.1 bill, a little bit over. But 1 bill is kind of a cool milestone. I'm really looking forward toward where we go from here, and it's been definitely a hell of a ride, and I really do enjoy sharing a lot of this stuff with you guys. I know that the updates have been few and far between, just because stuff like this happening is pretty few and far between. It takes a long time to get a lot of clips, and even so, in this one, a lot of it was RNG based. It was a really, really cool episode in terms of RNG goes, not to like be super arrogant, toot my own horn, whatever, but I was quite lucky, in my opinion, and I'm very thankful for Mod Timbo kind of blessing me. But anyway, guys, I do hope you have enjoyed this episode, enjoyed this ride. Wish you guys nothing but the best. Stay happy, and I will see you in the next one.
God forbid I God